Like, it's still witchy, but it's Christmassy. She has Half a Soul novel. There's a cabin, there's coffee, get cozy and get a little bit spooked. I just realized that that's hair. Okay, that's not important. It is time to get this off of my TBR. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about all the books that I want to get to by the end of the year. So I set my Goodreads reading goal to 45 books. I'm currently at 31 books, I'm pretty sure. Yes, so I have 14 more books to read in the next 2 months, and I normally read about two or three books a month, so it's gonna be a stretch for me to actually achieve my goal by the end of the year, but fingers crossed. I'm gonna really try and listen to audiobooks, read more, because I feel like I've just been in a little bit of a slump, but I'm hoping that by having these books on my TBR I can be motivated to pick them up. So I picked, I think about 10. Yeah, I picked 10 books that I'm hoping to get to by the end of the year, and obviously there's 4 left that I still need to get to, but that leaves a little wiggle room for other books that I want to mood read type of thing. These are just books that are more high up on my radar for getting to soon in the next 2 months before the end of the year, which is crazy. First I want to talk about the audiobooks. Basically for now, and I don't know, because I'm really gonna try to get out some audiobooks because that always helps me get through books a lot faster because I can be doing other things too. But there are 2 books that I have physically that I know I want to listen to, and those are The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I was actually listening to this and I'm really enjoying it so far, but my rent on Libby ended. Yeah, I have to wait until I can get that book because I put it on hold, but I was really enjoying this. This book follows this caregiver, and she goes to this house and has to care for this lady that basically was presumed to kill her whole family when she was younger. So she goes there, and the previous caregiver left in the middle of the night randomly, and so she's really creeped out and creepy stuff starts happening, and she basically is trying to figure out what actually happened years and years ago when people said that she murdered her whole family, and also what is going on currently. I'm liking it so far. It's really good, and it's a pretty good audiobook, I think. And then we have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Honestly, why I want to listen to this book is because I don't see myself actually picking this up anytime soon. It's just not one that is really grabbing my attention that much anymore, and I've had this on my TBR for so long that that's why I want to get it off of my TBR and listen to it. So basically it's about this retirement community, and people in the retirement community end up starting this Thursday Murder Club, and they kind of try to solve unsolved crimes, but somewhere along the way end up having to try and solve a real crime, I think. But there's like a lot of drama mixed up into it, and it's kind of giving like a cozy mystery more. I didn't really realize at the time when I really wanted to read this that it was a cozy mystery, and I feel like those tend to be less exciting because it's lower stakes. Who knows? I could be wrong though. I could really enjoy this. So that's why I definitely want to still give it a try and listen to it. Okay, and then pretty much everything else I'm hoping to actually read, but we'll see. So one that I definitely want to read soon is The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. When I first bought this book, it came out in October, but I didn't realize that it's like a Christmassy type of book. Like, it's still witchy, but it's Christmassy. So I figure November is a good time, merge the two. Witchy October vibes with Christmas in December. Yeah, I'm definitely going to read this soon, and it's so short, so it'll be a good one to quickly help me get off my TBR and knock another one down from my Goodreads list. Oh, but yeah, basically this is the third in the basically an interconnected standalone series where there's brothers and they're all witches or warlocks or whatever you call it. Each one is a romance. This one, I think they like get cursed and it brings them back in time, and they have to work together to like undo the curse while they're there. I think there's like a haunted house element to it, and yeah, they have to work together to get back to the present time. I've loved the 2 Erin Sterling books that I have read, and so I'm so excited to read this. Then we have Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I've heard so many good things about this book, so I'm so excited to read it, and I feel like I'll really enjoy the kind of atmosphere and theme around it. It's like a whimsical Regency era, which kind of reminds me of Once Upon a Time series. I don't know if Once Upon a Time was Regency exactly, but it had that whimsical vibe, and I feel like this is gonna give me the same thing. When I read that, I was like, this is the type of book that I really like. That atmosphere I absolutely loved, so I'm hoping this has a similar theme going on. I'm not exactly sure what this is about. I know that basically there's this girl and her name is Theodora Eddings, and she has half a soul, and she has to basically try to convince people that she is normal. And that's pretty much all I know. I'm sure it's a romance, but probably with some type of fun plot going on, and I'm excited. And it's pretty short and sweet, so I think it'll be a good one. So another romance that I have is Ashley Poston's A Novel Love Story. I read one other book by her, and it's literally right up here, The 7-Year Slip, 5 stars. I loved that book so much. I love her writing so much, and I like that it kind of mixes both literary fiction in the way that it has like great quotes and really makes you think, with also like a lighthearted feel to it and the kind of fantasy element that it brings. And in this one, I know that she basically gets thrown into her favorite novel. She gets thrown into her favorite novel, and she has to work out how to get out, which is kind of funny because it's kind of like The Wedding Witch a little bit. But yeah, I'm super excited. I just know I'm gonna like this, and I've heard people say that, I don't know if it's just her books in general give the fall vibe, it seems that way, but I've heard that specifically this is probably better to read in the fall time, so I'm gonna try and read it soon. Okay, my last like real romance book that I have on my fall TBR is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Oh my goodness, this has been on my list to read since I started reading 2 or 3 years ago at this point. Started reading, like picked back up the hobby, and it was just like the hyped up book. Everybody loved this book so much, and I just never got to it. I feel like those books that get so hyped up, I'll want to read them and buy them at some point, or you know, get them as a gift, but then it'll just kind of sit there because the hype kind of intimidates me a little bit, I guess, and I kind of feel like it's not going to be as good as people make it out to be, and it's hard when you go in with those expectations already. But I need to just bite the bullet on it and read some of these hyped up books that I've had on my TBR for a long time, because I really do think I'm gonna like this. The only thing is I'm not the biggest like romance fan. All the other books that I've talked about so far, the romance is like, there's a romance and that's like the main plot, but then there's a clear like subplot of like an actual like storyline going on. And I feel like a lot of the time with romance books, it's a little bit uninteresting to me, I guess. So we'll see, because I have heard so many good things about this, and just the cover gives kind of like wintry vibes. I don't know. There's a cabin, there's coffee. We'll see if I get to this. Hopefully I will, and hopefully I'll like it. Okay, then we'll talk about this book, which I want to get to very soon. This is the same type of thing that I was talking about, where the hype is just so big around it that it kind of has turned me off from reading it a little bit, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that I do want to read it. I just haven't been able to pick it up yet. Another thing is how long this series is. I think that is also intimidating because the books are so chunky. I've never read books that big before. I am having a hard time thinking about getting into a big series like that, but I know it's so good, and I feel like this is the perfect time to read this fantasy series. Fantasy just screams like fall and winter time, so I'm hoping to get to this by the end of the year, because I've had this on my TBR for probably as long as I've had this one on my TBR, so it is time to get this off of my TBR. Okay, and then we have a thriller, which I should have probably included that with the other kind of mystery thriller, but that's okay. This is Gone Girl, and I feel like wintertime is a good time to read thriller books, get cozy and get a little bit spooked. Honestly, I really forgot that I haven't been saying the synopsis on Lost to you, but I guess since these are so hyped up, that's why I thought y'all would know already. I guess I could go through it really quick. So this is a romance, and I know that it's like a second chance romance, and it follows Macy and Elliot. So basically at some point they run into each other years later after being like best friends for years, and it kind of, I think it might be a then and now. Yeah, it's a then and now timeline, so you see like them when they were younger and best friends and everything, and then now when they're older and their lives have kind of drifted apart. I love the cute little like details that it has. And then A Court of Thorns and Roses, I could not tell you what this book is about. I know, okay, so it's hard because this is the first book and obviously it's gonna go off and do its own thing, but what I know is that Feyre kills a wolf in the woods, and then this man comes and takes her away because she was not supposed to kill this person, or this wolf. Bad mojo, basically. So then she has to be taken away to like the fairyland or whatever to be protected. That's all I really know, and I don't even know if that's true. Could be wrong, but that's all I know about this book. As for Gone Girl, circling back around, I don't know anything about this one either. I'm so happy that like when the movie came out and it was really popular years and years ago, I never watched it, because now I get to enjoy reading it first, you know, and the experience of reading it and then watching it. That's always fun, and I've heard so many people say that this plot twist is crazy, so I'm excited to see how I feel about it and everything. But all I know about this is a wife goes missing, and I guess the husband is the main suspect so far. That's all I really know. I just realized that that's hair. Okay, that's not important. I thought this was like tree branches, but I'm realizing right now that that's hair. And then we have two like literary fiction books that I wanted to talk about, because honestly my favorite books that I read each year always end up being like more literary fiction type of books where there's like a deeper meaning behind everything and it really gets you thinking and probably stirs up some emotions. I don't know, I feel like those are always the most memorable as opposed to lighthearted fun reads. So I have two that I want to talk about. I have Frederick Bachman Beartown. I got this book I think a while ago when Lauren had talked about how this was one of her favorite books. I'm pretty sure it was Lauren who talked about how this was her favorite book, and it made me so intrigued. I think she said that she like reread it. Yeah, and I'd heard multiple good things about it, and I was like, I have to read this book. And then recently Sarah and Destiny both individually read Beartown and a few other books by Frederick Bachman and loved all of them, so I'm so excited to read this book. And it's definitely a winter type of book because it's like ice hockey going on. Basically it follows this town. The main thing about this town is the junior ice hockey team, and they're competing in the national semifinals. So I think that they're under a lot of pressure by their whole community to win this thing because they really have nothing else in the community. And I think it follows like a lot of different characters and everything, and just their lives and what they're going through individually, and how that all wraps back up to this ice hockey team, I guess. Yeah, it sounds so good. I'm really excited, and hopefully I'll enjoy this and want to pick up more by him. Final book that I have on my end of year TBR is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I got this book last year for Christmas, I'm pretty sure, and during that time I had heard multiple good things about it. A lot of people rating it highly, so it definitely intrigued me. I think like since then I haven't heard too much about it, so it hasn't motivated me to pick it up recently. I'm also worried that I won't enjoy it as much as everybody else, because like this, not like I'm really interested in ice hockey, this one is about these friends who start this video game together and just their journey with that, and their journey as friends and going through their lives and stuff. So it's kind of the same thing where it's not like I like ice hockey that much. I don't really care too much about video games, but I feel like that's not the main point of it. It's more about these people's lives and stuff like that. I have heard that this was sad, as well as the Beartown one, so I'm scared, and I guess that's probably why, you know, I haven't picked it up by now. I'm a little intimidated. I'm intimidated that I'm not gonna like it and that it's gonna be really sad, and that I will really like it. But I hope I can get to this, overcome my fears and my worries of this book, and get to it soon. So those were all the books on my end of year TBR, and if you want, you can leave in the comments some books that you're planning on reading before the year ends, because it's getting down to the wire, so have to start planning this out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.